communication. I just want to read part 6. He says it is pertinent to state that the government has nothing sinister to warrant the suggestions that the process is being rushed. And you can see we gave our committee 6 weeks, so you can't say we are rushing the process of legislation. And if 6 weeks is not enough, we will extend the time for the committee. So this is executive communication. In line with the established legislative procedure, the federal government welcomes meaningful inputs that can address whatever gray areas there may be in the bill or in the bills. In this vein, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has already directed the Federal Ministry of Justice and relevant agencies and officials to work on the drafts, or who worked on the drafts, to work closely with the National Assembly with a view to ensuring that all genuine concerns are addressed before the bills are finally passed by the National Assembly. So what was done yesterday was in line with even the directive of Mr. President. The Agro Committee is working in line with the directive of the President. And it also shows that this Senate is composed of men of wisdom and foresight. Before even the President gave this directive, we had already, before we passed our second reading, set up an ad hoc committee in the event of any gray area. So if there is any governor, or any stakeholder in Nigeria, where no matter whether the person is a religious leader or a businessman that has problem with the bill, you know where to go to. Public hearing. The Senate will not be bullied. We are doing our work in the interest of Nigerians. And by the time we come out with our final position, it will reflect the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. And not only that, any reform that we can make, painful as the reform may be, so long as this Senate is convinced that it is in the interest of Nigerians, we will go ahead with it with a view to bringing our economy on a forward march in support of the administration. But we will not also shy away from deleting or abrogating or stopping whatever we feel is not in the public interest. But for the tax reform bills, we believe that there are too many provisions there that would definitely help Nigerians. You can't imagine what it means for businesses that earn less than 50 million not to pay tax. You can't imagine what it means for multiplicity of taxes to be abrogated. You can't imagine what it means for people who earn less than the minimum wage or even minimum wage not to pay tax. So the exemptions are such that up to 100 million Nigerians will benefit from these tax reform bills. So let's not listen to social media. Let's not listen to Arise Television, and I hope they are well guided with the explanation of the Senate leader. Yes, the Senator also.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
To elaborate on the point of order, you came under Order 42, and also the constitutional provisions. And the Constitution is the ground norm. We can't argue with the Constitution. And Order 42 says that we should not engage in debate. We should not also bring about any controversial matter. But I must say that from your explanation, it will appear that Arise Television was totally misled into thinking that the bills were suspended or withdrawn by the Senate. Because I watched that news when the governor of Nasarawa was asked, now that the bills have been withdrawn, are you happy? The National Assembly, we were all elected to do our work. And that is the work of lawmaking in the overall interest of Nigerians. We do not do our work through social media, neither do we do it through any committee or congregation of the church or of any forum or of any nature. we do our work according to our conscience in the best interest of Nigerians. And the processes of lawmaking must be further explained to the public. The moment the bills went through second reading in the Senate, it simply means that the bills are alive. The next procedure is for the Committee on Finance to commence the process of consultations and public hearings with a view to bringing recommendations back to this hallowed chamber. But in the wisdom of the Senate yesterday, we had, in a closed session, set up a committee to be headed by the minority leader before the passage of the bill of the second reading. And we said, in the event that some people are either uneducated on some aspects of the bill, or confused, or there are gray areas to be sorted out, they should interface with the necessary executive quarters, from the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue Service to the Attorney General of the Federation, and if need be, even Mr. President. That committee was an internal mechanism of the Senate, different from the Committee on Finance. And I think that was what was announced yesterday, that committee should immediately move into work. They should move into action, since there seems to be some gray areas to be sorted out. And I want to thank distinguished Senator Abamoro, the chairman of the committee, because as soon as that announcement was made yesterday, he immediately started consultations. In fact, he has a meeting today that he has set up to enable him fast-track the process so that the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance and members of the committee can commence public hearings either next week or as soon as practicable. Therefore, your point of order clearly explaining that the bills are alive, have not been suspended, the actions have not been suspended, the bills have not been withdrawn, and the bills have passed second reading in the Senate, and further legislative actions are taking place, including the setting up of this other committee. All those points are hereby sustained. Yes.
Point of orders.
Distinguished Senator Isanaso.